Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, salute to everybody here in the building. Before we hit this intro, 1, 2, 3. Raiders! Let's get it.
Get that in.
Yo, salute to the chat. You already know what time it is, man. Welcome to the latest installment of the OLV Raiders Network podcast. Got a special guest in the building. We are live from Seeing Your Ozzys in Frisco, Texas. And we have a guy here right now that's actually from the area, you know, local hero, our guy. First and foremost, welcome to the nation. Yeah. Welcome back home to Frisco, Texas. Our guy, Trey Taylor's in the building, y'all. Come on. Raiders! Yo, man. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. For those who are new to the channel, we say wipe them feet. That means hit them thumbs up. You know, when you go into somebody's house, you gotta wipe them feet. You know what I mean? Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet, man. Thank you guys so much for everybody pulling up. My dog. My man. Trey, man. You know, we've been talking about this for a minute. We're finally here, man. You've been in D.C., moving and shaking before you report to training camp. How's it feel to be home, man? It
feels great to be home. Like, this is where it all started. You know, I got some family here able to see me right now, and it's been a blessing to be able to train and do all the stuff I need to do to be better at home. So
I literally just asked him. I said, when y'all came in, I said, "Where'd y'all get those shirts?" Because I was like, I need one. And now I know.
I had to ask the same question. I ain't know either. It was a shock to me.
Nah, man, I love it, man. How does it feel? You know, you worked your entire life, you know, to get to this point. You're now in the NFL. You know what I mean? I mean, this has to feel like insane, like a dream, right? You work your tail off to get here. How does it feel to know that you're in the NFL now, playing for one of the greatest organizations in sports history?
Yeah, it's still insane to me. I mean, now it's actually reality. So now I'm in it 24/7. Yeah. But still, like, there's so much blood, sweat, and tears that got put into everything that I do right now that, you know, nobody will ever see, you know, and all this was worth it. Because it doesn't work out for a lot of people. You know, we're the top 1% of the 1%. And so for us to all be where we all had to do individual and amazing things. And so I'm just glad that everything that was done kind of came to fruition.
So it all started here. You know, you go to high school, local in Frisco, Texas, Lone Star High School, right? Was it Lone Star? Yeah. You track star, football. How did you become a football player in the first place?
So I was about 5 years old. No, screw that. Probably like 3 years old. I really started to learn how to walk. For real. My dad gave me a football, and it was kind of took off from there. You know, I was in soccer from a young age, just kind of learning IQ, how to handle, you know, kicking a ball, running across the field, just getting that competitive edge in me. And then football came around when I was 5, and then as early legally as you can in Frisco, Texas, at 7 years old, we put on the pads, and I fell in love with it even more. Yeah, I actually get to hit somebody, and at that point, I was a quarterback too, so I was stiff arming everybody that came in the came close to me, and it was cool. It was just cool to be here, grow up here in like the football capital of America.
Bro, you have to have the competitive edge. You're from Texas. Like, this is the place where people actually move here to put their kids in school out here. I mean, when I moved out here from California, it was a culture shock because I'm like, these high schools look like Allegiant Stadium. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like real talk. It's absolutely insane. You got the Kyler Murrays of the world, all these guys that are local, you know, superstars, and now they're in the NFL. Like, what does Texas mean to you, man? Like being from here, and I know you probably had an opportunity to train with some of the greats out here, man. Give us some guys that you maybe had the opportunity to train with early on.
Yeah, so early on, I was training with Clay Mack. And that was my DB coach for the longest, and he's been able to, put in safeties and cornerbacks like, Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams was somebody that I was looking at and watching 24/7. And I was just, 8, 9 years old getting that training, but I was seeing him and all the good things that he was doing.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Okudah came a little bit after him as a cornerback, and I'm like, you know what? Let me spread my feet up and let me see if I can do what I need to do on that side of things.
He was
too.
a dog
So,
in Ohio State. He's in the league right now.
Yeah,
he's with the Texans now, I believe, right? Didn't he just pick up a 1-year deal or something like that?
So, it was cool seeing all them. And so that just kind of propelled me to be like, okay, they can do this. Why can't you?
Yeah.
So I just put in that work, and little by little, 1% by 1%, and I was able to kind of accomplish that. But you got trainers like that here in Frisco and Dallas and Cedar Hill. And, how can you really lose?
Yeah. I see that, I've seen other interviews. I watched a lot of stuff that you have going on with the other media outlets and stuff. I know you you pride yourself on being like an ultimate leader. Take us through your process at Air Force, because the first 2 seasons you didn't even play a snap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that that had to have you like, oh man, I want this even more, right?
Yeah.
Like take us through that process and how you prepared yourself to get ready for year 3 at the collegiate level.
Yeah. So like freshmen in college, especially at the academy, we didn't get the opportunity to play.
Yeah.
But we all kind of knew going in who the leaders were of the class. And so I was always one of those leaders that, people kind of looked up to and saw that, okay, one day he might be something.
Yeah.
So after a while, sophomore year came around, COVID hit, everybody in here was affected. And, I took that semester off because I didn't want that to count as one of my seasons. Because at the academy, it's an 8-semester thing. So, you can't just take a semester off, just work and then come back for a senior year. Like, you got to take the whole semester off academically and physically.
Yeah.
So I did that. Just got strong, got fast, worked here illegally, but it was good to be able to have that. The work and performance that I had here, go back, and it was kind of easy. It was a seamless transition for me to go from sophomore year to junior year, finally playing some ball. So got back there, found out that. We had a few different pieces now since, it was a whole year of me not being there. Now that we're moving people around, and we had a really good defense, a really good team, and they just kind of circulated around me and a few other guys. And
number 40, the linebacker.
Alec Mott.
Who is that?
Yeah, Alec Mott.
He's in the league now too, right? I believe he signed as a UDFA somewhere, right?
Yeah, he plays for the Orange team in our division. So,
we gonna leave that one alone. Yeah. Salute to him, though.
Yeah, salute to him.
We were watching the tape the other day against you guys in UNLV. And you definitely stood out. You were all over the place. I mean, you were in the box. You played deep. I mean, you were all over nickel. And we kept saying 40. That kid he was all over the place.
He's nice.
So, okay, so we got one in our division then.
And then also number 8, Bo Richter.
Yes.
He plays for the Vikings now. That's our first preseason game, so that's going to be kind of fun to go up against, somebody that I was, that's who I was working with 1% every day. That's what I was saying. That's who it was with. So it's going to be fun being able to line up against him.
Twice a season.
Yeah,
man. I love it. Salute to the chat, you guys. Get your questions in. The last 10 or 15 minutes of the show, we're definitely going to get as many questions in with Trey. Salute you guys. Appreciate you guys. And real quick, man, salute to everybody here in the building as well. Thank you to your Ozzys. Once again, if you guys are local and you're looking for authentic California Mexican food, man, look no further. Senor Ozzys right here in Frisco, Texas. Tell them Graphk sent you. They'll give you the OLV care package, man. So there you have it. Jim Thorpe Award winner, right? Best DB in the country. Not only because of football, what you can do on the field, but what you can do off the field, your character, all that good stuff. You're in a rarefied air. You know what I mean? Deion Sanders, C. Wood. I mean, there's Mika Fitzpatrick. How does that feel to be able to win that award and just it's insane, right? It has to feel like I really did something that most people will never do in this lifetime. Yeah. Take me through that journey.
Like I said, coming out from college, I had this dude named Jordan Jackson. He went to the league 2 years before me. He got drafted by the Saints.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I feel like I'm so close to him. I can do something like that. I can pursue the league. And then, I've always had that, Jim Thorpe, defensive back. That's an award that every kid dreams about winning. So those two things were on my mind when I came back from that semester from COVID.
Yeah.
And so I just pushed every single day, did a little bit extra, found where I fit really in myself and our scheme and our defense and how they move me around and how they utilize me. So I tried to be multifaceted. Didn't want to just be a middle field safety. I want to be in the box. I want to blitz off the edge. I want to.
You were all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, wherever the ball was, you were there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that definitely helped me on my film. A lot of the people that were in the semis and the finalists with me, awesome talent.
Yeah.
So for me to have come out with the award, it's huge for me because I worked for that thing.
Yeah.
Busting my butt every day for it, but at the same time, it shows that it's 51%, character and 49% you play on the field.
Yeah.
And Jim Thorpe is an awesome dude.
Phenomenal.
He was a great person when he was here, and the whole family are amazing people. So being able to be part of that brotherhood and that family now has been carrying on that legacy is awesome.
I want to ask you, man, because I asked Dylan the same question. The small school stigma. Yeah. I mean, you went in the 7th round. You're not a 7th round talent by any stretch, right? Is it the Air Force stigma? Because Dylan was like, New Hampshire, so on and so forth. Is that the reason you think that you went in the 7th round? Because there was no other there's no reason you should have went that late.
Yeah. Me and Dylan talk about this all the time, even though if Air Force played New Hampshire, we might win by 70 points. But
I'm sending this to Dylan right afterwards.
But I think that small school thing, especially with the rule change that we had and how recent it was, there were so many people who were denying the fact or just weren't educated on the fact that I could play ball. And so because of that, people were backing off of me. Every scout that I talked to, their first question was, so can you go straight out from when you graduate college? And so just people not having that understanding of the rule and what's in place, it's something that we need to fix, as a military, but it's also something that, it works out for us in the best way.
And I seen somewhere that you're a huge advocate for being someone to speak up about that rule. I forgot, I seen a quote earlier today, and you're really adamant about trying to fix that. Yeah. I love it, man.
Trying to push for it because there's a lot of talent that comes from these schools that people will never know about, and they have more talent than I've seen. I mean, there's a little bit difference in talent levels when it comes from, some of the teams in the Mountain West to maybe the big time schools. But man, what I've seen so far, just in the league and the people that I train with around here and stuff like that, there's not a big difference in the skill of definitely some of the boys that come to the academy that, really putting that work on the football field.
Yeah.
They've started to show that, we got a lot of talent too. And if I can be the first person to really show that, hey, this is a possibility, and this is what you can do from these shoes, why not? Yeah. So
playing at Air Force, how much did it mean to? I see you went to the East-West Shrine Bowl, and they gave you the Pat Tillman Award. Yeah. What did that mean to you, being from a school, of Air Force?
It put it in perspective for me because Pat Tillman, he did a lot of things that, I had to look back on that night when I won it. Would I do the same thing? He had a multi-million-dollar contract that was coming his way. He was playing the game that he loved. Yeah. And some things happened in the government and with the military and his family. And, he was like, let me take advantage of what I can do right now to do what I need to do for my country. And man, I asked myself so many times, would I do that? So it was amazing winning that award too and carrying that on with me wherever I go. But he's a staple for what it means to be that, athlete that comes from one of those military type backgrounds.
I got a random question for you. How tired are you answering the questions about Ed Reed? Because I've seen every interview is Ed Reed, I know that's family, right, through marriage and all that good stuff, but you've had the luxury of being able to pick the brain of one of the best football, not only at his position, one of the greatest football players of all time. Take us through that relationship, and have you really had an opportunity to sit down and break down tape?
Yeah, So that's my dog. I'm gonna talk good about him whenever I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we were younger, when I was younger, when I hit about 18 years old, 17, going into 18, when he realized like, oh, this kid can play, college ball. That's when our relationship really started to get a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And then especially after, some of this, Jim Thorpe stuff, and after he realized like, oh my gosh, he's going to the draft too.
Yeah.
Our relationship got real close and real strong. So. He's a good proponent for me to be able to go back to and ask questions about what he sees, what he feels. Him and Dante Whitner, I talk to them too all the time. Dante Whitner, I'm about to have a call with him in a few days just to kick it and watch film.
Yeah.
And go over some of my plays before we actually get started. But having people like those two that are some of the best in the game. I mean, Ed for me was the best.
Yeah.
And Dante Whitner, like he's up there too.
Yeah.
So having people like them to be able to talk ball with and finances and all types of stuff, investor tips. Like,
we were talking behind the scenes about you're gonna be a multi-millionaire for a long time, Trey. Yeah. I'm telling y'all, chat, he got his head right. I'm telling you right now, man. So salute to Trey. Take us through the process of the NFL draft. I mean, I know you're sitting there, for days, you're waiting for your name to be picked. This is just anybody, just going through the draft process. Take us through that and talk about the call, because that got the nation in their feelings, bro. Yep. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's someone. I was a grandma's boy, right? Mm-hmm. And I see you and your mom, like you hugged everybody, and that moment, that meant a lot. Like you know what I mean? And you emotional, her emotional. Take us through that day, through that journey, and what that call meant to you. And when you found out it was the Raiders, like what did that mean to you?
Yeah, so there's a piece of advice, for anybody who's going through this in the future, like. The media, the outlets, all the articles that come out about projections and where people will have you falling and stuff like that, like that'll drive you crazy. You will drive yourself mentally insane looking over and over and over, just refreshing the page, seeing where they have you ranked now. Like that does no help for, who you are as a football player, first of all.
Yeah.
And what you have to do when you actually go to a team. Like there's no difference in what you have to do, if you were drafted in the fourth round versus if you're an undrafted free agent. You still got a ball and you still got to make the team. So just to be able to sit back and take all that stuff in and kind of dish that to the side, be like, I wish I would have done that. Yeah. Because I was one of those people that went mentally insane during this process.
You didn't really get the opportunity to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you see all these projections, and when that day came that the draft happened, and I felt like I was slipping away from where I saw my name keep on flying out. Yeah. That hurt. It definitely hurt. I knew, it's easy to say, like, comparison is thief of joy. You see some of the boys going before you, and you're like, really? Yeah. And so, you throw those question marks out. You start to, feel pity about yourself, and, you got to shake all that off.
Yeah.
I got the call, and that's why I started crying immediately, just because I knew what it meant to me to be in the spot. I knew what it meant for the Air Force, for the military. For it's way bigger than just me. Yeah. And then for it to be the Raiders, like I had grown up, everybody in my family knew that if you come across a Raider fan, like chill out on them. Like, like
Raiders!
So I got that call, and I already knew I was going into a position in a group of people and a fan base that loved the team.
Did some of the family members mess with you because you're from Cowboy country?
Yeah, I am from Cowboy country, but my grandma, she actually, funny enough, she was like, these are the two teams that I think you're going to be drafted to. And I was like, okay. Well, I saw the Raiders were one team, so she brought two hats. It's like, it was God.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea how she did this. One of the hats was the Raiders, and when that call came through, she picked up the hat and gave it to me without me even knowing. Yeah, I said, welcome to Las Vegas, but she already had the hat in hand.
Yeah.
So
she was the one that handed you the hat.
She was the one that handed me the hat, so she had season tickets already. She was one of the first season ticket holders. She was already ready to be.
Grandma's a real one.
Oh yeah. So having that family moment and seeing everybody and the support that I had there. It was a good feeling for sure.
Was it a shocker to hear from the Raiders? Was there any previous conversations with AP or Tom Telesco?
Yeah, I mean, I went on a visit earlier in the process, and so like I knew that I had a lot of love.
We brought you in from a 30 for I remember that.
And they told me like we see you fitting in A, B, and C, and this is where we want you to be. Come time for you guys to come in if it does happen. So I felt really comfortable that they had a plan for me, and that's why I really enjoyed the conversation and the visit that I had there, and it actually came to fruition. It was a great feeling.
I love it, man. Talk about your experience early on at rookie OTAs. I know it was pretty quick, you know what I mean? But how has the process been, like, interacting with your new teammates, coaching staff, the new city? We talked about it a lot behind the scenes about Vegas. And Trey's already in love with the area, y'all. So Raider fans just know Trey loves it out there. But how's it feel, like getting acclimated to Vegas and talking to all your new staff? I mean, you got some great talent, and not just football, but like great coaching in the building. Like give us some talk about that.
So first of all, my teammates, I did not think so. Like going from the academy, it's like a real deal brotherhood type thing.
Yeah.
So I got, here, and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know what people think about teammates at their old school. I don't know how close they were as a group. Man, I got here, and like these are already some of my best friends. Like these people that I'll be talking to and I'll be connected with for a long, long, long time after this. They're the funniest people I ever met. Like you said, you had Dylan on recently. Like,
Dylan's hilarious.
Man, if there's a 2-minute pause of us not laughing, like something went wrong. So having a group of guys, undrafted free agents to first rounders that are so down to earth and so wanting to engage and connect with their teammates is huge. Like this makes us love each other more and really compete for each other whenever it's time to get on that 53 man, because we want as many of us as we possibly can to make it with us into the season. And so we're really doing this for each other too, but also just like you said, the coaches that we have there and the staff.
Phenomenal.
I mean, of course it's the NFL, so I haven't seen it yet, but I wouldn't be able to find another NFL team that had better coaches.
Talk that shit.
Yeah, Patrick Graham. Oh my gosh, he's a freak when it comes to this game. He knows.
There's a reason they call him the Black Picasso. That's his nickname, right?
I didn't know that yet.
Yeah, that's his nickname, the Black Picasso. Yeah, because he gives so many different looks. You don't really know. Like Graham is just a brilliant mind when it comes to the defense side of the ball.
I mean,
I hate to say it, Trey. He's going to be a head coach at some point in the near future.
Yeah,
we're going to lose him, and we're going to be very upset about that.
I know. But AP does a really good job. Like you said, like he puts people in the right position, and the right mindset to go out and coach us as players. So you hear it all the time. Max and a lot of the leaders that we have on the defense, they're like this when it comes to them in the DC, which a lot of other organizations, the DC might be too standoffish. Y'all just gonna listen to me. No, PG, he is a player's coach, and that's why everybody plays for him the way that they do. And then our position coaches, man, like it doesn't get any better than that. Like I've been, from high school, I was wanting to play for my position coach for the longest. And it just didn't work coming out of high school, and now he's my position coach there, and I see how much love he has for the game, how much passion he has, and the intricacies that he teaches us that I don't see the other coaches in the league doing, so we lucked out with this staff for sure.
I know we haven't put on the pads yet, but at the OTAs, who stood out to you early on? I mean, we went and got Brock Bowers in round one. A lot of people thought, what are they doing? They already have Michael Mayer. I love 12 personnel, so I'm excited to see those two guys on the football field. You go and get Jackson, out of Oregon, who is a monster. Like, who stood out to you early on at OTAs?
Trey Tucker.
Everybody's saying that. Dylan said the same thing. Instantly, Trey is killing him.
Yeah. I don't know where all the confusion comes from. That dude is a beast. And, I mean, they've said that he made a huge leap from year one to year two. And, I wasn't there for year one. But I can see, he definitely putting that work to be where he is right now. He's going to be a freak of nature when it comes to getting him deep down the field, setting up screens for him, just getting the ball in his hands. Like, please, he's going to be a really good player for us. And then our linemen actually shocked me too, and not our defensive linemen, because everybody knows that they're good.
They're going to be one of the best units in the league.
But just our offensive linemen and the connectedness that they have. When it comes to running the ball down people's throats and that 12 personnel, like we're gonna do everything that we need to do on the offensive side of the ball too.
Dylan said we're gonna score a lot. And I'm excited about that because, last year the offense struggled. We had a lot of coaching, turnaround, and Aiden was kind of thrown into the, to the fire, so to speak. Are you tired of kind of hearing already early on about the QB battle? Aiden and Gardner Minshew, and I'm not going to ask who you think is going to win because that's not fair to you. But I want to ask you, like, did they excite you a little bit in terms of the offensive side of the ball?
They're both definitely very good in their own respective ways.
I love it.
And there's a reason why there's a position battle, because both of them have those different techniques and personalities on the field that make our offense run.
Yeah.
So like you said, there's always a position battle going on, no matter if you're a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Yeah.
But they make each other stronger, which is the best thing that can happen for a program. They go at it every day, and one dude is going to be the starter at the end of the day, but no matter what, going into training camp, going into OTAs, going into the preseason games, and then going into the season, they're going to be competing the whole time. That's just going to make both of them better.
I love it because they both have two different skill sets. One's more of a pocket passer and Aiden, the other one's a gunslinger and Gardner Minshew. So let the best win. Either way, man, I love that they have that camaraderie already. Like when they're talking to media and stuff, it's not like I'm going to win this. It's we're both performing,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And let the best man win. So, you love to see it. I want to ask you, man, being drafted, to the Raiders, the rich history, Oakland, Los Angeles, you're playing a position where a lot of great players, have made their way as a safety. I mean, at the end of his career, C. Wood converted to a safety, made a Pro Bowl. I mean, we had Jack Tatum, McElroy, Dave Grayson, George Atkinson.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to play that position for the Las Vegas Raiders? I mean, it's a rich history of DBs, man.
Rich. Thank you. You got Mike Hayes too. Like he's,
you said you spoke to him too, Mike Hayes.
And that's somebody I've been watching a lot. That dude, I mean, he's feeling it now a little bit on his body, the little wear and tear. But man, watching what he used to do on that field,
phenomenal.
I've grown a really large appreciation for the DBs that we had come from this business, this administration. Like everybody that I have seen, even right now, currently, they wear that chip on their shoulder. We're a connected group. Yeah. We're strong, we're fast, we're physical, but we're also like playing for each other. And that's what I appreciate the most. There's competition, of course. There's gonna be competition at whatever position, but at the same time, like everybody's trying to make each other better. Yeah. And that's how they got to be so good back in the day. Like they pushed each other. I know past, probably some of them are breaking.
It was different.
Yeah. So
where do you see yourself fitting in that room? Because when you look at our depth chart, safety is one of the most deepest rooms that we have. I mean, we just talked about Palomal behind the scenes. Chris Smith, who really didn't get an opportunity in year one coming out of Georgia. He was a leader of that Georgia defense. I mean, we got another, Thorpe winner, Trayvon Merrick that we spoke about, Marcus Epps. Where do you see yourself fitting into that unit in year one? Or as a rookie, do you think, let me get my bumps and bruises in the special teams? Like where do you see yourself fit? In that room. Yeah.
Right now, of course, the special teams ace thing is what people think that I'm going to be doing, and I probably will be doing a lot of that. Yeah. But the competitor in me is always going to go for everything that I wanted to.
I wanted that right there.
Like I'm gonna whenever we put the pads on, and all respect to every safety that we have in that room, because we got some great safeties. You didn't talk about Jaden Grant, but Jaden Grant is another very, very capable guy.
Oregon State, right?
Yeah, yep. And that he's earned a lot of reps because of what I've seen him be able to do on the field. So it excites me just to have that competition. Yeah. But that competition is going to make all of us better, and my strength on the field is literally my strength. Yeah. And so I can't wait to show that when we put the pads on.
I know you're new to Vegas, but describe to the nation the Max Crosby experience, because this guy's just different, Trey. Yeah. Like first in the building, last out of the building. I mean, he's working out all day, every day. He has a phenomenal podcast. If you guys aren't following him, I don't know why. You know what I mean? But describe that experience, and have you talked to him, much since you've been drafted?
No, I talked to him a lot, and that's really special for me, because this is one of the first times in my life that I've been able to kind of take the back seat and just watch how a leader at this, at this size in the NFL goes about his business. So like you said, he's the first one to get there, last to leave. He makes sure that everybody is in tune with what is going on the field. He's a defensive lineman, but he gets the people in the back end right. Yeah. He's going to make sure that he's first in sprints. He's going to make sure that, he's getting the work in when it comes to just, physical therapy and stuff like that. But also he's just a dog. Yeah. Like,
it's different, bro.
and what I love about the coaches is that they just let him be that dog on the field. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to be able to play next to him. I hope that he can play for the Raiders for a long, long time because I know that we've started to build a mutual respect for each other, and it's going to take off soon. So, yeah.
Name a sneaky player on the defensive side of the ball right now that maybe a lot of people aren't speaking about. Malcolm Kuntz, my guy out of Buffalo. I wanted to draft him that year. We took him in the 3rd round, and now he's finally had the opportunity to shine. That's kind of an easy name, right? Christian Wilkins is an easy name. Name somebody on the defense side of the ball that's been kind of sneaky, where you're like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, they're showing out.
And he was hurt last year, from my understanding. Tyreek Wilson. It's like I'm not. Yeah.
Talk that shit, Jay.
Yeah. That one shocked me because I knew that he went to Texas Tech, and I had some boys talk about him a lot when he was there. But I heard that he got drafted here, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But I haven't heard his name in a while. I didn't know that he was hurt though. I knew he was dealing with that for a while. He's healthy and he's a monster. Like I'm so excited to see what he can do on this field because he's one of the biggest freaks I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't even like walking by him because I got nothing.
Bro, did you see the pictures of him at Max's pass rush camp?
Yeah.
It's insane. Like him, Malcolm, John Jenkins, all those guys lined up, and Tyree is just a massive, just human being. It's crazy.
I'm just excited.
Yeah,
he's got a lot going for him right now, positively, and he's going to be somebody that we depend on a lot and very deservingly. So it's going to be nice to watch.
We talked a little bit before we went live about our corner 2 situation. A lot of the media is questioning what we have on the boundary opposite of Jack Jones. We know that Nate Hobbs is our guy in the nickel. And I'm assuming in year 1, we have a lot of faith in you that you're going to get some reps at the nickel at some point as well. Jacorian Bennett, what was your first impression of him? And year 1 was a learning curve for him. There was some penalties called on that I thought the refs were kind of a little with him in year 1. And I thought that maybe it kind of logged him out, so to speak, early on. Like, if you allow the game to get in your head, sometimes it's easy to get lost in it. You know what I mean? Like, what's your first thought on Jacorian Bennett?
He's a huge athlete, and he knows how to play the game. Like there are some cornerbacks, like we talked about, that they focus in on just their assignment and what their assignment means in the right now. They don't even think about the down and distance. They don't think about how, the situation in this game is going to impact how I play this leverage or how I play this assignment. Jacorian is one of those cornerbacks that takes all that information in and he applies it. And that's why he makes plays in practice the way he does, because he understands where he needs to be on the field depending on the situation that's given to him. And that's what's going to make him special.
I love it, man. What's the first impression you had on our head coach? Someone that everybody is in love with in Raider Nation. Last year it was higher AP from everybody. There was a few I'm a Jim Harbaugh fan as well. It was 1A, 1B, with him. I'm not gonna lie to him, you know what I mean? But I love Antonio Pierce. I love what he brought to the, he kind of instilled that Raider mentality back. Yeah. Like, we're back. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What was your first impression on Antonio Pierce?
Yeah, I love Harbaugh, but I don't think any coach is gonna bring the energy that the Raiders need like AP is going to. AP, it means I don't have a pen. I squeeze in my fist because everything that he says, I'm like, wow. Like I haven't had a coach like that gets people going like that. That's the first time that somebody will get in your face, cuss you out, and then you go do what you need to do on the field, and he's gonna be the biggest advocate and the happiest dude on the field with you. You're gonna celebrate with you, and also he's not a figurehead. He's not just gonna be in his office in the AC. He's going to be down the field making sure that everybody else is right, and he knew how to play the game too. A lot of these coaches, they've never had to play the game, so they never really had that experience that, okay, this is how I used to feel when I played ball. This is what I was going through. This is how I can accommodate as a coach. A lot of head coaches don't have that. AP has that, and he uses it very well.
Then he brings in Marvin Lewis and other great minds to help him. You know what I mean? I love what he did. Have you had an opportunity to meet Robbo yet? I knew you were going to do that. Rob Ryan, for those who have no idea who I'm talking about. What do you think about Rob? Because he's just like a locker room, he's hilarious. Yeah, bro.
He's hilarious, but at the same time, he knows ball. So everybody, thinks of Rob as the funny dude that dresses up in weird ways and does weird stuff on the. No, he the personality that he is all that plus who he is under the hood, which is a great football mind. He makes the whole room laugh. I leave meetings with a smile on my face every day from what he be saying. But at the same time, like he'll jump in and he'll give his 2 cents that help me on the field do what I need to do. So I got so much respect for Rob. I'm so glad that he's on our team. You know, like I saw his white hair the first day, but I was walking behind him. And I was like, man, that's a big woman. I don't know. I probably saw his face. I was like, oh, that's him. You know? It was cool to see him and get to meet him. And yeah, he's a great coach. I can't wait to really be coached by him.
Yeah, I love it. So with Patrick Graham as your DC, man, he values versatility. We're talking about this off camera. You know, you played pretty much every safety. You can play free, you play strong, in the box a lot at Air Force. You know what I mean? I've seen you in the slot. Where do you envision yourself? I mean, you know, we talked about special teams, but in terms of Graham's system, where do you think would be your strong suit? If let's just say you were starting in year one.
Yeah.
Where do you envision yourself? I mean, I know you take anywhere, it doesn't matter. But where do you envision yourself if you were the starter in year one?
Yeah, I'd be at one of the safety positions, and I think that's because we use our safeties in a way that, you know, you'll be in the box some plays where you'll be back deep some plays, be in the middle field, you'll be in the half some play. Like that's how I utilized at the academy, and that's where I lay my hay. Yeah. And also I'll be in the box for a bunch of the runs that a lot of these teams have, especially when they go in 12 personnel. And that's where I really, you know, do what I, you know, that's where I'm a football player. I'm at my best. So. I'm
only asking you that because I wanted to ask you if you had any nightmares yet about potentially lining up against Davante Adams.
Oh,
because it's different, right?
It's funny because, like, you know, you think about these guys on these teams before you get there.
Yeah.
And I grew up watching Davante, you know, when he was at the Packers, and even when he got here, I was like, man, that dude is crazy. You know, that dude is an athletic freak. And one day, like, it would be so cool just to go one-on-one against him. But, like, you got to get out that mindset because now you got to win those one-on-ones when you go against him. So there's no nightmares. Definitely, he's one of the best ever, in my opinion. But I just can't wait to actually go against him because I just want to compete. I gotta win those reps for me to make the team. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna give me all the confidence in the world because if you can win reps against him,
it's
you know, you're gonna be able to go against almost anybody else in the league and have, you know, a great successful, you know, just kind of success. So
facts. Real quick, man. Once again, you guys, salute to Senior Ozzys for having us here. We're not done yet. I have the toughest question in the world to ask you right after this. Right. I want to say salute to my staff, salute to my brother Ant, salute to Das, salute to my sis Ty, salute to everybody here in the building that made this happen. You know, I was going to say salute my brother Rube in the building, salute to you. Demon King, what up? Toughest question, man. Take your time on this one.
All right.
I asked Dylan this too. Kendrick or Drake, man?
What did Dylan say?
He said Drake is dead. That's what he said.
You saw I changed my Instagram from OVO to what it is now. Like,
you did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you answered the question right there.
Yeah, Kendrick. Yeah, 100% Kendrick. I used to be a Drake fanatic. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a Drake fanatic. Like, I mean, you know.
Look, who hasn't? I mean, Drake has been putting on for 20 years now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But Kendrick, he just brings something else to his music. Like, it really manifests in me too. Just because some of the stuff that he be saying, I'm like, like I lived through that.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he's a lyricist too. You know, Drake is a good performer, good songwriter, good artist, and all that. Yeah. Kendrick speaks from the heart. He speaks from what he knows, true, and his experiences that Drake just doesn't have. So I like Kendrick a lot now.
I love it. I love it, man. What was the greatest song in that beef, though, before we move on? What was the greatest song out of it? Was it Euphoria? Was it They Not Like Us? Family Matters? Because Drake had one, too. Let's not act like Drake wasn't cooking. That was hard. I'm
biased. I was just playing Not Like Us before I walked in, so I gotta go with that. Because it be so hard too, you need to expect it. You know, like before it actually came out, before people knew that he was on the song, you know, you just flow into the beat with Future, and then you hear, oh, is that Kendrick? And he starts going off like, come on, you can't get better than that.
I love it. Real quick, get your questions in the chat, you guys. We're also going to have people in the building. If you guys have a question you want to ask, please step up, ask one. We have no problems with that. Let me get these supers in real quick. I want to make sure I respect the chat. Salute to 10 Commandments. Why did you choose Air Force? Great question.
That's a great question. So I really never saw myself serving in the military, honestly. But then I started doing a lot more research about the academies, about what the kind of lifestyle they can give to you, and really just what it means to serve. And so I was like, that's like, why not?
Yeah.
It was either go, play football in the NFL or go serve in the nation's best military and do what I need to do there. And so I'm like, it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was a pretty easy decision for me. There was a bunch of other offers on the table, but not really any schools that gave me the mix of the football I could play in the Mountain West on top of just like the person I feel like I was going to become if I did go to one of those military academies.
Did that put a chip on your shoulder?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Salute to Hug D's, man, one of the mild fathers of the channel. Appreciate you gifting 15 new members to the channel, man. Salute to my dog, man, one of the GOATs over here at OLV. Salute to my big bro, Top Beats. Thank you for your service, sir. Do you think coming from a service academy prepared you to excel in the Raiders? And do you think PG's defensive scheme will fit your playing style to shake up the NFL? Salute to Top.
Yeah, so to answer that first question, 100%. I wasn't the disciplined dude that I am right now before I got to the academy. Not even close. Yeah. I didn't know how I was going to make it. But I went through the academy, and they instilled so much in me. Like there'd be days where I'm up, from 5:30, and the schedule that was for call for me was done at 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
And then now you got to find ways to complete homework and to somehow have social life and keep all that stuff up. Talk to your family. So I got, here I got to rookie mini camp and OTA and stuff like that. And I was like, this is a breeze.
Yeah.
Where you got some people who are like, this is the first time that I've really had to attack something like this. And so it made it a lot easier for me. So I definitely got blessed there. And then PG and his defensive scheme, like that's my perfect defensive scheme. I mean, he loves to get as many hats to the ball as possible. And it's not just effort. He loves to do that with the calls that he makes too. And he loves to get his back end guys closer to the line of scrimmage. And like I said, that's where I thrive too, is, I feel like as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. So, that's my perfect position to be in.
I love it, man. Salute to Matt, man. I'm sure Trey has faced both Minshew and AOC in practice thus far. Compare the contrast. Well, I'm not going to ask him that last part, Matt, because we're not going to do that. Those are his teammates. But explain the contrast between the two. Like, what's the difference that you've seen in your short time in Vegas?
Yeah, so they're really similar players, but at the same time, like they both have their 1, 2, 3 things that separate them from being mediocre to being a good quarterback in the NFL. I just love how they compete against each other, because like I said before, they compete and do this all the way up until the season starts.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know who's going to be the starter, but I know that they're going to push each other to be the best that they're going to be. And for me, compare contrast, like no matter who starts, I'm comfortable with whoever goes in right behind them. So.
What's your thought on Luke Getsy? Year one, he has that familiarity with Devontae Adams from his time in Green Bay. The last few years in Chicago, they've had one of the top run games in the NFL, even though they didn't win a ton of ball games. And he was working with spare parts at one point because his starters were going down, but they still ran the ball effectively. Mind you, a lot of it came from Justin Fields. He was mobile and so on and so forth. But what's your first impression of Luke Getsy and his system?
I mean, it's effective. I can tell you that. Like there are times where I see how. I didn't know that he came from Chicago, honestly, but like in the system that he's with now, like we run the ball down people's throats, and I mean that's exactly what we need with our offense.
Yeah.
We got the pieces to be able to have those 200+ rushing yard games, and consistently.
Zeus, he was talking big about Zeus before the show.
Yeah,
I'm excited, man.
Hell yeah, like we got all the keys and we got all the backs and the linemen now. And the tight ends, because Brock knows how to block too. To really do what it needs to be done to score points. So I mean, last year everybody complained about the offense and maybe how we could do a little bit better there. I can't find any holes in our offense right now. So
I don't think you understand how much the nation is at ease for hearing that, because Dylan was saying the same thing. Like, I just said it. We're going to score a ton, and that's what we were nervous about was this turnaround on the offensive side of the ball. You go from Josh McDaniels to Bo Hardegree to Luke Getsy, and Getsy wasn't our first option. I know you see what happened with Texas Tech. Cliff Kingsbury? He comes in and then last minute dips out, goes to the Commanders. So we were a little nervous. We're like, okay, this is AP's second option. So how is this going to work out? Because if you compare those two offenses, it's a whole different system between Cliff Kingsbury, the air raid offense, and what Getsy does. So we were a little nervous, you know what I mean? But to hear you say that means a lot, man. Salute to East Coast Gridiron. This is my guy. He actually interviewed you a few times. He told me, man, that you guys had a great conversation. Actually, phenomenal interview too. I actually watched it. Trey, are you currently helping or training with any other players that are currently trying to make a roster? Good to see you again. Salute to East Coast Gridiron.
Good to see you too. Am I training with them?
Yeah.
So I train at this guy named John Cost. I'm gonna give him a shout out. He trains right here in Frisco, Texas. That's what I've really been with for the majority of this little break that we've been in. But he's really just like a speed, mechanic, strength, and power guy. So I do a lot of the football stuff on my own. But like with John, like he brings in people from all over the country and all over the league. So it's nice to be able to compete and train. Like it's hard not to compete. I see somebody running a certain speed on the treadmill. I'm like, turn that thing up. I want to see what it feels like to run a little bit faster than them. But yeah, it's nice having people who play in the league already and that are in your position too. That you kind of still battling with just from across the country.
I love it, man. Phenomenal answer. Salute to Hug. What did you take away most from Coach Prime as a youngster? 2, I'm assuming you did BMT at Lackland Air Force Base. Were you in the new or old barracks? And are those your guys on the X picture? How do you like Dad as a Raider? I don't know what that meant, Hug. I don't know what that meant.
I'll answer the first 2 questions for sure.
So the Hug, man, my guy.
For sure, with Dion, I trained. I played for his little league team. So the truth. So I was around him and Shiloh and Shador for a long time. I was a baseball player for them. Played football for them too. But kind of having that connection already and seeing how the whole family has kind of grown and blown up has been cool. But yeah, Dion, of course, everybody knows that. I feel like he's the best to ever do it.
And now us Raiders.
Oh, wait. Yeah, he's up there, but he's
real quick, man. Salute to Woodson Whiskey, our proud sponsor of the show. But you're right. Dion is one of the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? Clear cut. I mean, that was him and Wood were my favorite corners growing up. So, I mean, facts. Did you have a chance to see the fastest guys on the team race yet? Receiver and defensive back. If so, who did you see as the fast? That got to be Trey Tucker, right?
I can't see anybody. Oh, I don't know. We got some speed, and like you'll see it even on special teams. Like you'll have people running down, and it's speed that kills. Like, it literally kills. And but I think Trey would definitely be number 1. So we'll see. I think it happens during training camp. I think we actually see the race happen and get to come in, but.
I have a question for you. So it's been very quiet on the Michael Gallup front. We haven't really heard too much, from him, after he came over from, Dallas. I know you're very familiar with him, local guy, Cowboys. Have you got an opportunity to meet with Michael Gallup yet? Have you seen him on the field? I mean, what does he look like thus far?
Yeah, and he looks like a very skilled receiver. I know that he was dealing with, an injury, but, now he looks great. He looks super good. I know that he trained not with us for a little bit during OTAs, but, he was just probably rehabbing and getting where he wants to get to before he pulls up the training camp. And I'm excited to see what he could do because, I watched him when he was on the Cowboys and some of the catches that he made, those are game-changing plays. So having him here with us now, I mean, that's going to make our team a whole lot better too.
Salute to Vic. Great question. What are your thoughts and feelings about training camp in Costa Mesa? It's going to be not as hot as Las Vegas.
Blessed. I think I just saw Vegas hit 119 today.
Nasty work, bro.
And I mean, that's reality. That's what we're going to be practicing in the first few days. But, when we get to Costa Mesa, when it's going to be, 90 degrees, 95 degrees, I'm going to I'm gonna be super duper happy. So that's what I gotta say about that.
Yo, salute once again to the chat, you guys. Salute to everybody here in the building. We're coming up on an hour. I don't want to keep Trey all day. You ready to get some food?
Oh, let's do it. Come on.
Salute to my guys over here at Senior Ozzys. We're gonna get some food over here.
Yeah.
Eat some authentic Mexican food. Salute to you, brother, once again, man, for pulling up. We've been working on this for a second. I just want to say we appreciate you. We're very excited about you being a Raider, man. I think I speak for everybody in the nation that you were one of our favorite picks. We've been talking about you all off season. We can't wait to see you get to work.
Yes.
You want to shout anybody out before we head out, man? What you got going on right now?
Yeah, I just want to shout out my family. I got some family members right here. I don't know if y'all can see them, but yeah, they that surprised me big time. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And then there's my people from across the globe. You know, I got a lot of loved ones. For a lot of them, my dad is here. I'm staying with him for a little bit. My little brothers. My mom is in Ghana right now. So like she living life in Africa, you know. So she branching out, but it's cool to see her doing her thing.
Moms love you, man. She was hitting like on everything you were
on.
on.
I saw her on the comments.
Oh, she's in the chat.
Yeah,
salute to moms.
She's probably
there you go.
She's probably like every other comment right now. Like she be working.
Yo, I love it, man. Once again, salute to Senior Ozzy. Salute to everybody here in the building. On three, can we get one for Trey on the way out? Because you got to get used to this.
Yeah. Because
at Allegiant Stadium, win, lose, or tie, you're going to hear this, right? 2, 3. Raiders! Salute to my guy, Trey. And this season, man, we would love to have you pull back up. Yeah. Let's talk about the season. Love to have you back on. He's like, look, when you want to do another one? Salute to Dylan. That's my guy. He's like, whenever you ready, bro, send the link. We would love to have you pull back up sometime during the season. Maybe during a bye week or something like that when you got some downtime. But once again, man, salute to the chat. On the way out, like them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. And man, appreciate you once again, brother. On the way out, thank you guys. Thank everybody. Senior Ozzys, man, you guys. Road games. We're going to start doing some watch parties over here at Senior Ozzys. We're going to turn this into an official Raider spot. So get very, very used to Senior Ozzys over here. You know what I mean? And once again, man, appreciate every single person that pulled up. Salute to my guy, Trey. We are out.
That's what I'm talking about.